Welcome back to the deep dive. So I want you to picture this. You're a small business owner, right? And you're just staring at your Meta Ads dashboard.
Oh, I know this exact feeling.
The numbers are, they're swinging wildly.
Yeah.
Then you check your phone and it is just crickets. Dead silent.
Yeah, nothing. And you start questioning everything.
Exactly. You get to that point where you think, I should just turn all of this off and maybe go back to mailing postcards.
We've seen it play out so many times. We had this local spa owner, and she was just dumping money into the system, seeing completely unpredictable returns.
And she probably thought the platform was broken.
She was convinced of it, convinced that Facebook was just taking her money and running.
And the fascinating thing, based on all the material we've dug into, is that nothing is actually broken. The rules of the game just changed. Quietly.
They changed in a huge way. Meta rolled out this colossal new AI system called Meta Andromeda.
Andromeda, and if you're still running your ad campaigns the way you did, say, 3 years ago,
You're going to get punished. The system is designed to throttle your reach and make your costs skyrocket.
so this deep dive is really a shortcut. It's for small business owners who have a budget, they need results, and they need them now. We're going to break down what Andromeda actually is, what the new costs look like, and give you a framework that works with the AI, not against it.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's start there. The old system was all about audience targeting, right? You'd plug in the age, the location, the interests.
Yep, that was the game.
So what did Andromeda change? What does it prioritize that makes that whole strategy obsolete?
It made this really decisive shift toward one thing: relevance.
Relevance.
Meta's #1 goal is protecting the user experience. They don't want people getting sick of ads. So Andromeda judges your ad not just on who you target, but on how people react to it.
So if people stop scrolling and actually engage with it,
The AI sees that as a highly relevant, engaging ad. And it rewards you. It literally gives you a discount, lower cost, better placement.
it sounds less like traditional advertising and more like, I don't know, content creation that just happens to have a buy now button.
That is the perfect way to describe it. That's exactly the shift. If your ad is boring or repetitive or it just screams, sale, buy now at people,
Andromeda flags it.
it sees it as irrelevant noise. And it slaps what is essentially a relevance penalty on you. Your costs go through the roof. So understanding how it measures that relevance is the whole key.
Okay, let's unpack that cost penalty in real terms,
Yes.
because this is the big one. How much do Facebook ads really cost for a local business today?
Well, they don't have a flat price, which is why it feels so chaotic to so many people.
It's a dynamic auction.
Highly dynamic. It changes based on competition, where the ad is shown, is it a reel, a story, the main feed, the quality of your offer, even the time of year?
So to cut through that chaos, there has to be a baseline metric, something that tells you if you're even competing in the auction before someone clicks.
There is. And it's the one most people ignore. It's CPM.
Cost per 1,000 impressions.
Exactly. It's the baseline cost of buying reach. If you don't know your CPM, you're flying blind. You have no idea what you're actually paying for.
And what's a normal range for a local business? What should you be looking for?
Based on the data, for most local businesses, you should be seeing CPMs somewhere in the range of, say, $8 to $25.
And if you're consistently above $25,
You're paying a heavy tax, something is wrong, your creative might be tired, your niche might be super competitive, or, and this is a common one, your audience is just too small for Andromeda to work with.
so how do you find that number? For someone listening who's maybe a little intimidated by the ads manager?
It's pretty simple. You just customize your columns in the Ads Manager view and add CPM. It'll be right there at the ad set level. If it's high, that's your first red flag.
Okay, let's talk budget, because this is where small business owners pull their hair out. Is $10 a day enough?
Yes and no. It's a great question. For testing creative, yes, absolutely. It's enough to see if a video gets more attention than a static image.
But not for scaling.
No, not for scaling. And here's the really critical part. Meta's algorithm works best when it gets enough data. It wants to see about 50 conversions per week to exit what it calls the learning phase.
50 conversions. Okay, so why is exiting that phase so important?
Because when you're in the learning phase, Meta is still just experimenting. Your results are going to be all over the place. They'll be super volatile.
And at $10 a day, you'll never get to 50 conversions a week.
Probably not. If a conversion costs you $25, you might get 2 a week. You'll be stuck in the learning phase forever, and you'll always feel like the system is unstable and broken.
So if $10 is just for testing ideas, what about a budget like, say, $500? Is it a meaningful amount?
Yes, $500 is perfect for an initial testing phase. We call it the discovery phase.
Right.
It's enough to gather data over maybe 7 to 10 days and find, 3 or 4 winning ad concepts that really resonate. At that stage, your strategy is way more important than the dollar amount. Find the winners first, then put more money behind them.
So the verdict is that Facebook ads are still one of the most affordable ways to reach local customers.
They absolutely are. But, and it's a big, but only if you play by Andromeda's rules. That means creative variety and a clean, simple structure.
Okay, that brings us right to the new rules.
Mm-hmm.
The old way was like complicated funnels, dozens of tiny audiences, retargeting ads from day one. Is all of that, is it really gone?
For beginners and for people with tight budgets, yes, it's gone. The system is just so much smarter now. The AI is better at finding the right person than your manual targeting ever was.
So you just need a simple system and a lot of variety.
That's the core of it.
But wait a second. If I simplify my structure that much, don't I lose control? Like, how do I retarget someone who visited a specific product page if I don't have a separate campaign for that?
That is the #1 question we get, and it's a perfect example of old school thinking. You're not responsible for manually separating every single audience anymore.
So how does it work then?
When we talk about that simple structure, one testing campaign, one scaling campaign, the AI inside the scaling campaign does the dynamic retargeting for you. You just feed it the right signals, like who converted, and it finds those high-value visitors way more efficiently than you ever could with a tiny separate ad set.
Okay, that clarifies a lot. So let's talk about that two-campaign setup.
It's simple. You start with just 2. The first is your testing campaign. This is like your lab. All new creative ideas get launched here every week.
And you run them to cold audiences.
Always. You test them, see if they hit your cost per acquisition goal, and you gather the data. The second campaign is your scaling campaign. This is the Hall of Fame. Only the proven winners, the ads that actually work, get to move here.
And this structure protects your best-performing ads from being destabilized by new, risky ideas.
Exactly. And to make sure that testing campaign is always finding new winners, we use the 3-2-2 method for creating the ads.
Okay, the 3-2-2 method. Break that down for us. What is it?
It's a simple template to make sure you're giving Andromeda enough variation to work with from a single concept. For every ad idea you create. 3 hooks, 2 bodies, and 2 calls to action, or CTAs.
Let's use an example. Say I run a local gym. My ad concept is short video about how intimidating it is to start a new fitness routine.
Perfect. So your 3 hooks are the first 3 seconds of the video. They have to stop the scroll. Hook 1 could be emotional. Are you avoiding the gym mirror?
Okay.
Hook 2 could be informational. The 3 biggest myths about cardio. And hook 3 could be a testimonial. Meet Sarah, who lost 15 pounds without giving up pizza.
3 different angles to grab attention. And the 2 bodies.
That's the middle part, the solution. Body 1 might focus on the convenience of your gym. Body 2 could focus on your specialized training and the supportive community you've built.
And finally, the 2 CTAs.
Right. CTA 1 is a hard ask. Click here to claim your free trial pass. CTA 2 is softer. Download our 5-day meal prep guide.
And just by mixing and matching those, you've created a dozen different ad variations from one idea.
Exactly. Andromeda is like a huge matchmaker. The more profiles you give it, the better it gets at finding your ideal customer.
And this all reinforces why the focus has to shift away from clicks. A click might only cost $1 or $2.
But it's meaningless. The
Yep.
focus has to be on CPA, your cost per acquisition.
A cheap click from the wrong person is worthless.
Completely worthless. How much does it cost you to actually get a lead, a booking, or a sale? That's the only number that matters for profitability.
Let's tie this creative focus back to cost. We mentioned CPMs earlier. How does the quality of your ads directly affect that cost to reach people?
It's the whole equation. This is where Andromeda really flexes its muscles. If the AI sees your ad has high relevance, it gives you a discount to enter the auction. It lowers your CPM.
Because a good ad keeps people on the platform longer.
Right. Meta wants that. But how does it measure relevance? It's not just a guess.
No, it's data.
It's a composite score. It looks at things like stopping power. How fast do people scroll past you? It looks at video watch time, comment rates, share rates, and very importantly, how often people click hide ad.
So if people are lingering, commenting, sharing, the AI rewards you with cheap impressions.
Instantly. But if your ad is weak or repetitive or just too salesy, the algorithm reads that as low relevance, and you pay that steep tax. It actively punishes ads that feel like invasive ads.
So those old school image ads that look like a flyer from the newspaper.
They're dead. Small businesses have to start emulating the top brands. Your content needs to look native to the feed. It has to feel natural, helpful, or tell a story. You have to blend in.
And diversity is mandatory.
Hmm.
You mentioned two pillars Andromeda rewards. The first one is format diversity.
Yes. You cannot just run static images anymore, even if they used to work for you. You need to be running different types of create all at once.
Like what?
Short videos that feel like they belong on Reels. User-generated content, or UGC, that feels authentic. Static images for certain placements. Carousels to tell a little story.
And why is that so important from a technical standpoint?
Because people use the app differently. Some people only watch Reels, others only scroll the main feed. If you only give Meta a single square image, it has very few places it can show your ad. Its options are limited.
Which drives up your cost.
Right. But if you give it 4 or 5 different formats, it suddenly has way more opportunities to find you cheap inventory across the entire platform.
The second pillar is message diversity. You can't just say, we're the best of 5 different ways.
That's message monotony, and the algorithm hates it. You need to test different angles, different emotional and practical reasons why someone should choose you.
So give us a few angles a local business should be testing every week.
Okay, you could test an emotional angle, focusing on the feeling of relief your service provides. Then a problem-solving angle, showing how you fix a specific frustration. A testimonial angle is huge. Let a happy customer tell your story for you.
A local community angle could work well too.
For sure, highlighting local partnerships. And one that's really powerful is the educational angle. An ad that's like 80% teaching and only 20% selling. The more angles you test, the faster Andromeda learns who responds to what. So once we understand that the system needs this constant flow of fresh, varied creative, we need a framework to actually deliver it.
Right, because you can't just run the same 3 ads for 3 months and expect anything to happen.
Nothing good, anyway.
So this is the tactical workflow. For a business with a tight budget, how many new ads should they launch each week to keep Andromeda happy?
We recommend launching 4 to 6 new ads every single week. It sounds like a lot, but it provides that constant flow of signals the AI needs. Think of it like planting new seeds in your testing campaign every Monday.
And you're pushing all of these tests strictly to cold audiences, right? You have to exclude your existing customers.
100%. If you test new ads on people who already know and love you, your results are going to look amazing, but they'll be fake, artificially inflated.
You won't know if the ad can actually bring in new business.
You'll get a false positive. Cold audience testing is the only way to get honest data.
And how long do we let these tests run? You mentioned 7 days.
At least 7 days. You have to let it get past that initial volatile delivery period. Then you look at the data. If an ad is successful, it's hitting your target CPA, you graduate it.
And you move it into the scaling campaign, which, for most businesses, should be an Advantage Plus sales campaign.
That's the ideal setup, yes.
Let's clarify Advantage Plus. Why is that the go-to for scaling now?
Advantage Plus is basically Meta's full AI-driven campaign type. Once you have a proven winner, a great ad that hits your cost targets, you put it in Advantage Plus and you just let the AI do the work. It finds the cheapest delivery, the best placements, all on its own. It removes so much of the manual guesswork.
Okay, so let's define the exit criteria. When do you know it's time to just pull the plug on a test ad?
You turn it off if it has consistently missed your CPA target after it's spent a reasonable amount of money. So if your target's $30 and the ad has spent $100 with 0 conversions, it's a loser. Kill it. Also watch the frequency. If one person is seeing the ad 5 or 6 times, they're sick of it. And of course, negative comments are a huge red flag. That means it's time to retire that creative.
And on the flip side, what's the clear success criteria? When does an ad earn the right to move into that Advantage Plus campaign?
It has to be hitting your target CPA consistently. It needs to have spent enough money that you can actually trust the results. And ideally, it's getting some good social proof likes, positive comments. When you see a winner, don't wait. Get it into that scaling campaign immediately.
Let's go back to that frustrated spa owner from the beginning. She implemented this framework, the weekly testing, the 3-2-2 method. What happened?
Her CPM dropped by nearly 35%. Her relevance scores went through the roof because she was finally feeding Andromeda what it wanted. She went from total chaos to a stable, predictable CPA.
And that allowed her to scale her budget with confidence.
Exactly. She finally had a predictable return on her investment. It all came down to creative discipline, not just throwing more money at the problem.
It really all comes back to signals. We said creative matters more than targeting for local businesses now. And your paid ads work best when they're aligned with your other efforts. like SEO.
Absolutely. Think about it. Meta Andromeda reads signals, Google Search reads signals, your customers read signals. When all three of those groups line up and converge,
Everything gets easier.
everything becomes exponentially easier and more profitable across your entire digital footprint. So, to summarize this whole deep dive, really, Meta Andromeda didn't make Facebook ads harder or impossible, it just made them smarter. It forced advertisers to, frankly, raise their standards.
So your job as a small business owner is to feed that system. Feed it enough unique, high-quality creative, and keep your campaign structure clean so you can get clear data.
That's it in a nutshell.
And the winning habits are pretty clear now. You have to test weekly, probably using that 3-2-2 method. You have to use multiple formats. Avoid sounding like a used car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Push your tests only to cold audiences. And you absolutely must know your average CPM and your target CPA.
That combination of creative discipline and tactical structure, it's the only way to win in the Meta ecosystem today.
So here is a final provocative thought for you to chew on. If the whole digital ecosystem gets better when signals line up, just consider the power of that convergence. What happens when the signals from Meta Andromeda, the signals from Google Search, and the signals from your actual customers all point to the same thing? That alignment isn't just about spending less on ads. It's about becoming the undisputed authority in your local market. Think about how much easier acquiring customers becomes when you achieve that absolute synchronization.